Hello, welcome back to Factutainment. I am Master 101.
I'm also incredibly tired, Zero Yeti.
And I don't think this has a name yet for a series, but we watched
I thought
another.
it was well, it was like walk. It was, Stig calls it something.
Uh,
Walking
Something
with your
reviewers.
viewers is strictly the paleo
oh,
review.
wait, is this Motion Picture Musings?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
over here.
okay. Okay, yeah, welcome back to another Motion Picture Musings. I'm sorry, I'm so series brained right now because, with the Red Dwarfs, with the Red Dwarf stuff, calling that Yanks Watch Red Dwarf. Uh,
I'm so series pilled right now
We might come up with a
in my
name for this
series era.
later, but it's like this because it's like a feature length like movie. Most of these just kind of go into like
yeah,
it's into motion picture musings.
yeah, like I feel like Motion Picture Musings is more for like one-off things that we watch. Uh,
So we might come up
They
with
do
a
be moved.
series
They
name for
do
this
be in
one.
motion.
Uh,
but Beth, what did we watch this time?
This is 1984's Return of Godzilla. That was also released in America as Godzilla 1984.
also known as Godzilla versus Eggman.
Did Godzilla return in
No,
this movie?
no, I
Well,
don't think he does.
Ah,
Doctor Robotnik like fights Godzilla.
You shut the fuck up. The Super X wasn't very well represented in this movie. Okay,
Wait, has the Super X made an appearance in other movies?
no,
Yes.
Oh,
no.
I thought they used it. Maybe it was a similar ship.
Yeah, so this is the first movie in what is the Heisei continuity. I will say, despite the fact that this is where the Heisei continuity begins, this movie did not come out in the Heisei era because the Heisei era was in 1989, and this was
Alright.
in 1984. So, oops.
it was still in the Showa era, correct?
Yes. So this movie is like what the original Godzilla movie was to like the bombings, the nuclear bombings of Japan. This is about the Cold War.
Yeah, I was getting that a lot.
Yeah.
Getting that a lot. Is this the subtext you were musing about before?
No, that was the four.
The text.
Sorry, I didn't mean for that to come off as like contrarian and like whatever. But like when you like oh, this is about the Cold War. It kind of clicked like, yeah, no, this is about the Cold War. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, so before we get into it, I do want to talk about something I forgot to talk about in the last Godzilla review, which was the music.
Uh-huh.
Music is just really good. Like even if it's like military propaganda, goddamn these movies know how to make a good soundtrack. Let's see, this is the person who composed most of the Godzilla music, and I will say this movie is one of the Godzilla movies that doesn't use the typical Godzilla soundtrack. It's not bad or anything. But it does really stand out in a, frankly, I think a good way. I really like this tense, menacing Godzilla theme they use in this.
Then immediately to be interrupted by the what's the word by the like the army music.
Okay, I was about to say I thought you say thing about the music they were playing on the boat, like it was that
No,
guy
no,
listening to what was on the radio.
no. I'm assuming that was just a pop song back in the 1980s that was playing in Japan. No, I mean like where it's like this tense like war room
And
scene with like this tense music, and then we pop to the helicarrier with like the with the like this like playing with the boys like music. Yeah, that.
It's not playing with the boys.
What are you talking about? Didn't Top Gun come out around this time?
I don't know actually. So this was the this the time between this movie and the previous movie, Terror of Mechagodzilla, was the longest break between any of the Godzilla movies.
Mm-hmm.
This was. Let's see, where do I start? Because towards the end of the Showa era, with the original Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla and Terror of Mechagodzilla, it was like bringing Godzilla back to the serious part of it after it had gone through like the campy era of in Showa.
Uh-huh.
So the way this movie starts out is also kind of similar to the original Godzilla because it starts out on a fishing boat with the main let's see, one of the side characters who's working on the boat. The ship the ship they're working on encounter they're at an island that, as it turns out, is not an island because it like starts to glow and kind of stand up. It's not necessarily shown very well, but the everybody on the crew let's see, it's the the ship encounters what appears to be Godzilla. You don't see Godzilla yet, though. Then it cuts to the actual main character, a reporter, basically on his own boat, trying to find the missing ship for the sake of reporting it to the news. And he
Hot
finds the
scoop.
missing ship. Okay, so he finds the missing ship, and everybody on the ship is like died or and dead. There is blood everywhere. There's like weird slime on the ground, and there are several mummified corpses, several of which were armed like they were fighting something off. And the main character encounters a one survivor who is like one of the other tertiary characters, basically passed out in a closet, clutching to a knife. And the reason why all this happened is because of this. This is Chakras. This is a giant mutated sea louse. This is the only time you see this ever brought up,
Yeah, I was a little
and
confused.
it is later hypothesized that this sea louse is a giant mutated sea louse that, as you can see here, was mutated by feeding off of Godzilla.
That makes sense.
It leaps across the room several times. You can see it here attacking the main character. Uh, the way it moves sometimes, like it makes it look more like it's flying than it's jumping, because like the technology is not quite there to have it like jump onto somebody and then visibly latch onto it, so it just sort of flops onto it very stiffly. But you can see here Chakras throughout all of the scenes that it's in has just like a fishing harpoon jabbed in it from something one of the other sailors tried to get in it. And while it is distracted attacking the main character, the other character stabs it, yeah, kills it with a meat cleaver.
Kind of
This
weird.
person who is the other main character.
Hiroshi.
Oh God, what did they call it in English? Okay, so world.
So are we just meant to
This
believe?
is
Oh, sorry. You say your thing first.
no,
Oh, okay. So are we just
no.
like are are we just supposed to believe that Chakras was just kind of able to body the whole ship, or was it a combination of
Yeah,
Chakras? Okay.
I mean, they like you see Goromaki stab it several times and not get through, and the other guy's only able to kill it by like stabbing it in an area it was already stabbed. It was very hard.
You know what? That's fair. I personally, I shouldn't like give people shit for not being able to kill things in a proper way. I know.
You would if you encountered a giant mutant parasite, you would shit yourself and die,
Yeah, no,
and the
no.
parasite wouldn't even do anything.
No, fully. Like there's a scene there's a scene later that we're probably going to talk about, but like if I were to ever encounter a giant like monster, I'd shit myself and die. That's the that's the long short of it.
So, uh, after they're rescued by a Coast Guard helicopter, Goromaki goes back to one of the newspaper outlets for the newspaper he works for. Uh, tells tells them everything that happened on the phone. They don't believe him, and then goes back to the main newspaper area. And let's see, the other person is taken to a police hospital.
The best kind of
I'm
hospital.
trying to remember if there was a
No, no, it's not.
no, no.
But you have all the nice you have all those nice uh I don't know where I'm going with this conversation. Yeah, you're right. It would suck to be at a
You
police
have all the
hospital.
nice police brutality.
It's,
When Hiroshi talks to the newspaper guy, he describes it as what he saw as like as if the island rose up, and he couldn't really describe what he saw because it was basically too large for him to see the whole thing. When he's in the military hospital, he's visited by like his science professor that this guy works for. When the professor talks about, or when he tells the professor, this character, about seeing a giant monster, the professor gives him a bunch of photos of the original Showa Godzilla, because like part of the reason why we reviewed the original Godzilla movie first is because the original Godzilla is the only one of the Showa movies that is in continuity with this one. It basically starts with the original Godzilla movie, and then this happens like 30 years later.
mm-hmm.
So the original Showa Godzilla was a thing that happened. Let's see. So he showed him the photos of Godzilla. The one survivor confirmed it was Godzilla. And the newspaper man Goromaki finds out that the story he's trying to report on the ship and Godzilla and the survivor are all getting censored. They're not getting printed because basically the government, the Coast Guard, everybody are not allowed to talk about what's happening because, you know, if we go to the press and say, "Hey, Godzilla's back," the whole the
He,
it's going to be a panic. Everybody's going to freak out.
yeah, yeah.
It's notable that they're talking about, oh, the economy is going to be in panic. There was uh, the Japanese economy crashed somewhere in the late '90s, I believe, after the Heisei. I want to say after the Heisei movies ended. It's funny to think about some of the things that they say in some later Heisei movies.
Yeah,
It's like, oh, they had such high hopes for Japan's economy.
I never really connected to think that this is gonna sound really bad and American centric, but I didn't really think other countries. No, that's a lie. Other countries have like
I
recessions and
didn't think
shit.
other I didn't think other countries had economies. Every country in the world belongs to America.
No, 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 that is not what I. Oh, I'm not editing the fucking circus music over this
Tune
again.
in next time when we give our honest opinion about our
We
new
give
endorsement of
our honest opinion about the war in the Middle East.
Oh, Jesus Christ, no.
Yeah, so when Goro finds out that his story's not being run, he's asked to visit the professor,
Mm-hmm.
and as it turns out, the professor's assistant is no,
Okay,
the
am I.
sister of the main witness.
the yeah, the survivor.
Okay, I know I already brought this up like during the movie, but like he looks a little bit like Adam Driver, like with his beard and stuff, right? Am I crazy?
No,
Not even a little bit.
Sure, if he was, I mean, sure, if you like whitened his face and made him a different ethnicity, sure.
Well,
if you
that's
widened his face, made him different ethnicity, and then had him grew a mustache.
that's why I said
If you
that.
change several notable aspects about the man, then yes, he kind of looks like
Okay,
this other man.
that is why earlier I said an Asian Adam Driver.
Pull up the Asian Adam Driver.
Did you know that Arnold Schwarzenegger looks kind of like?
Wait,
Do you know that Arnold Schwarzenegger and David Attenborough kind of looked like similar? If you were to age up Arnold Schwarzenegger by several years and reduced him by a foot in height, and then made his face less square, and
okay,
And then hit him with a car.
okay. You know what? I will edit this video a little bit when I get to it. I will edit it with with putting Driver's face
He's gonna
next
fucking anamorphs into Adam Driver.
Adam Driver's face next to this guy, and then I'll play the X-Files theme on top of it with like a little question mark.
Yeah, so the professor's assistant is this woman who is Hiroshi's sister, and she because all the information about the survivor of the ship is being censored, she doesn't know her brother's alive. So the newspaper guy, once he finds out this is the survivor's sister, he takes her on a walk and tells her, "Yeah, I don't agree with all this stuff being censored. Uh, your brother's alive. Here's where he's being kept." And so she like runs off, like forces her way into the hospital to see her brother. Except Doromaki brought a cameraman with him to take pictures, basically using this as a means of forwarding his story.
Yeah, not
So, like, yeah, these two don't treat him very well to begin with because he uses them for this.
not
which
cool,
is
Goro.
understandable.
Not cool. You know what's not cool?
So while this is going higher,
Yeah, exactly.
so while this is going on, they have a Russian submarine get attacked by an unknown force. They launch torpedoes at it, and it does nothing. Well, I remember one of Avery's comments was, "Huh, I didn't think they'd have like people, like white people speaking Russian in this movie." So the Russian submarine is destroyed as they're trying to fight whatever this thing is they're fighting.
Like not only
The
are they
submarine
shooting at
suspects
it,
it to
they're
be
trying. They're diving very fast, and Godzilla's keep. Well, suppose it's Godzilla, and Godzilla keeps up with.
uh, the Russians are suspecting it of being the U.S. submarine, and once news of this gets to Japan, they're like, "Oh, the Russians are accusing the United States of destroying one of their submarines." Almost immediately, the Prime Minister comes to understand what happened. I think they used like deep sea imaging, like anti-submarine imaging, to get a picture of Godzilla to show that it was there. Uh, like almost immediately, the Japanese Prime Minister says, "Okay, we have to release the information about Godzilla because
World War III might start.
if they don't, the Russians and the United States are going to go to war with each other." They talk the professor and all the main characters talk a lot about how nature of what Godzilla is. A little bit. They say something weird that I noticed is they said, the professor said, "Oh yeah, Godzilla's basically immortal." which no, I don't really think so because the original Godzilla showed the oxygen destroyer reducing that Godzilla down to a skeleton and then probably dissolving the skeleton. Like, I don't think this is the same Godzilla as what that other one was.
I will
But that sort of thing is just kind of never really explained in detail.
I will have to say, when they got to that part where they're like, well, we gotta tell everybody about Godzilla. And it's like, wait, how do people not know about fucking Godzilla? Are people not.
No,
Oh,
not
sorry.
they didn't. It's not that they don't know anything about Godzilla. They're talking about not
They don't know
knowing
that
that
he's come
Godzilla is
back.
back.
Oh, that
Yeah.
he's back. Okay, that makes more sense. My
Because some
apologies.
continuities show
It's like the big rip.
Godzilla being capable of some continuities show Godzilla being capable of great regeneration, like one showed Godzilla regenerating back from just his heart.
Ooh.
But I don't think this is the same Godzilla as the original, just regenerated or anything. Because also the Showa era had just another Godzilla shows up without really much explanation. They're just sort of a species that are there. Godzilla's origin in this particular continuity get brought up later.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. So I believe next is the scene at the nuclear facility, which was
Yes.
really interesting because the scene is done in a POV shot as Godzilla is approaching from Godzilla's perspective, and as as at the nuclear facility, as one of the employees comes out, he like looks out and then falls back, and the ground cracks because Godzilla is basically standing there, and it is stated that Godzilla wasn't able to be detected approaching because of heavy fog banks. And it is the first time where we see this Godzilla, which there we go. This is the 1984 Godzilla design. Uh,
Beauty.
a lot of the traits shown here carry over to the rest of the Godzilla designs in the Heisei era, except for the eyes. Like white, bloodshot eyes aren't carried over to any of the other designs, which kind of makes this one stand out a little.
Yeah, his eyes are a little
It's
funky in this design. Oops, sorry.
that fine. It's sort of like they're sort of doing what they did in the Showa era, where he had eyes like this, but like the stuff like the rounded crest, rounded back fins, and the like lumpy brow that's furrowed like this, those carry over to the other designs.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing that's notable about this is like this is the suit acted version, the suit they use for having Godzilla move and stuff. This movie also used an animatronic for it was like one of the only times they ever did this. The animatronic is 16 feet tall, and it is generally referred to as Cybot. Let's see if I can. Uh, I don't know. Content warning for anybody who was like 5 years old when Five Nights at Freddy's came out and now is afraid of animatronics because it's gonna like here's the picture of what the animatronic looks like now.
Jesus Christ.
Kill me!
Kill me.
Like here's an actual picture of it.
Oh, but
The animatronic was mostly used for close-up shots, like when you're looking at Godzilla and he's like moving his head around and stuff. So it'd have like the eyes move, the weird mouth, the weird lip movements it would do sometimes. It didn't look very good. Sometimes the chest would be shown moving. That was all done with this animatronic. I do think it was probably. I don't know if it was worth the effort. Also, because the animatronic doesn't really match up 1-to-1 with the actual suit if you look at it closely enough. Like some of the details are different. Often in profile shots, the head on Cybot is more triangular and T-Rex like if you see it in portrait. And see, when we were watching this, I told you all to look out for the scenes where it's just like a shot of Godzilla's foot stepping on something.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
That's because they did that with this. It was just a really big crane-operated version of Godzilla's leg. And like sometimes you could really tell. Like there was
Yeah.
a crowd shot later in the movie where you can kind of see.
Love that.
Yeah, so the scene at the nuclear facility is, I want to say, one of the only times in one of the Toho Godzilla movies where you actually see Godzilla feeding, because he like picks up, he like breaks into the nuclear reactor, picks up the reactor, here it is, and just holds it as his spines glow because he's like feeding on the radiation. It's even noted when three of the main characters show up on site to get pictures and stuff. They have they have a radiation detector nearby, and it's not picking up any radiation because Godzilla is absorbing so much of the radiation that it's not getting to them on the ground so far away. But as this is happening, we get to the maybe least realistic part of this. As Avery pointed out, there is a scene where uh, after Godzilla is feeding, he drops the reactor because a flock of birds fly over. And Godzilla is just seemingly drawn to this flock of birds, of migratory birds, and he just leaves and goes back into the ocean.
Yeah.
Because it is when they later review all the pictures and footage, the professor theorizes that, oh, this proves that dinosaurs had migratory organs or whatever they'd be called, and that Godzilla's migratory magnetic whatever it is reacted to these migratory birds flying away and followed them. And I guess what was it you said?
That wouldn't happen.
Said,
Not only because, yeah, there's different. It's not necessarily a migratory organ, but there's like this instinct like thing that happens where like, have, and a lot of flocking birds have similar things. They have like an uncanny ability to detect what's north, like north and south, and kind of it's like, oh, they almost have like a internal compass.
yeah,
This wouldn't have the effect on Godzilla because when one bird starts migrating, even others of its own species won't automatically start migrating, let alone of a
right.
completely different species, let alone of a completely different branch of life.
Mutated dinosaur. Yeah, so basically, the professor, uh, him, and her all get to work on analyzing the bird cries they had heard and basically trying to narrow it down to something they can use to lure Godzilla. And in the meantime, the Japanese, uh, the Special Defense Force cabinet is meeting and with the Prime Minister, and they're working on uh, offensive capabilities to potentially fight off Godzilla. They do go through with the professor's plan, but they just want to do it with the Japanese Special Defense Forces help. And one of the weapons they bring up is the Super X. They bring up the Super X, and the Super X does not show up until way later. Let's see.
AKA the
And
Eggmobile.
we'll get to that. Then see, Russian ambassadors and American ambassadors show up in Japan to basically discuss what is going on,
Hmm.
with Japan sort of acting as the middleman here. And they've got scenes with the American representative and the Russian representative with the Prime Minister of Japan all in a room, and basically the Americans and Russians are bickering, saying, "Hey, we should nuke Godzilla." Both of them are just saying, "Hey, we should nuke Godzilla. We should nuke Godzilla."
But
Uh,
I'm pretty sure in
basically,
the
say like Russia even saying, if Godzilla goes through Japan, we might be next.
Yeah.
which you think
Or
part
what
of
were
the
you saying?
brief. Oh yeah, as part of the briefing about like, hey, Godzilla's real. Wouldn't they have mentioned like, hey, nuclear?
Well, not
He,
Godzilla. Godzilla's real. It's that
Uh,
Godzilla's back.
oh, Godzilla.
that
Right.
he eats radiation.
Yeah, yeah. The point is like he eats radiation. Your nukes aren't gonna do shit.
Yeah, they talk about how the combined arsenal of what the Americans would use and the Russians would use would be about half of what was dropped on Japan during World War II. Let's see, and honestly, it was kind of funny seeing the way the Russians and Americans were bickering with the Prime Minister, and the Prime Minister was just sort of sitting there and taking it silently. And
Yeah.
even the Russian representative was saying, "What is your response?" And so the prime minister goes to his cabinet for advice, and one of the they talk about how dangerous this could be if they try to use nukes on Japan, how they'd have to evacuate a large area. One of the people in the cabinet brings up. Uh, America's been talking about using nukes a lot, and Russia's been talking about wanting to use their nukes a lot. This is basically like practice. This is almost like a test to them. Like they're using Japan as sort of like a testing ground. So the prime minister goes back to the American and Russian representatives to basically say, we have these rules of nuclear weapons we do not allow in Japan, and we're going to adhere to that. Uh, would either of you have the courage to use nukes if your own capital was being hit? They digress, so they agree not to use the nukes. So the scene after this is the one of the Russian workers going back to their ship. Let's see.
And that was,
Go.
and you can tell it was the 80s. If that was happen right now with the current administrations of Russia and the United States, they'd go, hell yeah, and they'd launch the nuke right then.
Well, launch the missile now. I mean, that is kind of what happens in Shin Godzilla, but only with America. Yeah, so the next scene is one of the Russian representatives being brought back to the ship. He goes into a certain room that's locked behind a key card and basically activates a safeguard to deactivate what is a nuclear warhead satellite they have in orbit. Basically, because uh, Russia brought the controls on the off chance that America would try something.
Hmm.
So he had to be there to turn it off. And, he turns it off. I'm trying to remember if there's anything in between this. I believe the next scene is Godzilla coming ashore. They spot him at sea. They put together that between the attack on the ship at the start of the movie and the sinking of the sub, Godzilla is obviously moving towards Japan, likely because Japan has and the attack on the nuclear site. That's just where the nearest source of nuclear energy is.
And the
So
thing is, this happens in multiple monster films like this, and it's happened multiple times in Godzilla films. They know Godzilla is going to come. They do not evacuate until Godzilla actually shows up.
kind of. I thought you were going to say they roll out the military and the military can't do anything.
They do that as well, but this one at least they're trying to distract him.
Well, yeah, they're trying to slow him down or something, but
Yeah,
it's like they can't just sit there and do nothing.
yeah.
Uh, yeah, so Godzilla shows up on shore where they have all their military stuff set up. There is a scene where there's a helicopter, and Godzilla just sort of comes up out of the water unexpectedly right in front of this helicopter. And what was the thing you said, Stink?
It's like when you're at a pool and you surface and there's like a giant fucking bug flying directly at you.
So this
It's like a
this scene
dragonfly
kind
or
of
like a June bug or some shit. And you're like, fuck.
this scene did kind of bug me because uh, this movie doesn't give a lot of prestige to Godzilla using its atomic breath. It just sort of randomly uses it on a helicopter or a plane for the first time. It's not given much gravitas, it just sort of happens. And as
Yeah.
this is all happening, there are some problems with the suit. Let's see. So the suit can't really turn its head or move its head in any way. It's sort of like the original Batman movie, how Batman couldn't turn his head. He had to turn his whole body. So the head can't turn. The head can't look up and down. There's a scene where Godzilla like dives for a moment and he's just looking straight the whole time. His head is stiff and does not move, like he's a fucking JPEG somebody rotated.
Rotation.
But he uses his atomic breath to basically wipe out all the forces on the beach, or not on the beach, in the dock where all the armaments are set up, and it does show basically all these soldiers getting vaporized. There's a scene with one soldier on fire flailing around,
Yeah.
That was pretty silly. It made me
and
giggle.
death is funny, as we've established. Well, when Godzilla is,
Tune in for
sloshing
our
through the
next episode when Aura runs to be a Republican senator.
No, 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 no.
yeah, yeah. What was that thing you were saying about Suicide Alley or whatever?
That was Chris saying that.
I,
Fuck off.
yeah, but basically, as Godzilla's sloshing through the ocean, the ship that is this Russian ship that is docked there, gets beat up and knocked around, and the Russian representative that's in there, um, like gets knocked around, and he has to go back to basically get the launch console for the nukes, on the off chance that they might accidentally get launched. And lo and behold, once he gets into the ship, uh, he has to like pry the door open and squeeze his way in because the door won't open all the way. The nuclear launch console was accidentally activated when the ship was beat up. Probably some automatic thing to go off in case the ship was ever attacked. And this guy is like trying to get to the console desperately with his last dying breath as he's bloodied and battered.
And then like
And
fire erupts.
before he can get to the console to turn the launch off, something blows up and he's dead.
Yep.
So as Godzilla starts making his way into Shinjuku, and something I want to mention is that at the time, the Heisei Godzilla was the tallest Godzilla had ever been.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the only time Godzilla was ever depicted as taller than in the Heisei era was when it was done in CG. There's not really any shots of And there are a lot of shots with
Sorry.
Godzilla around some of the really big buildings in Shinjuku.
Mm-hmm.
But another thing that bugs me about this movie, another criticism is, there we go. This is one of the on-scene shots. When Godzilla first shows up in Shinjuku, he's just sort of standing in the middle of an empty street. He's not really moving. He's not really moving. He's not really doing anything in any way. Like a helicopter goes by, and then Godzilla does like a nuclear pulse at this helicopter. The helicopter crashes and lands in a fully packed street of cars and trucks, and then the helicopter ignites all the cars and trucks, basically causing a chain reaction of explosions. Where did those come from?
From the magical land of make believe.
They come from the fact that the city wasn't evacuated.
Well, no, the cars and trucks weren't moving; they were abandoned because they'd probably been evacuating. I love seeing these set photos where the suit actor has to sit down between shots once it loads.
Damn, I need a
Come on, you can do
smoke.
it.
My favorite ones are like the lady who's like the background actress.
Oh, Baragon.
Yeah, she's like, yeah.
Yeah, so there is another scene that really bugs me, and it really just goes to show how the Godzilla suit can't move its head. The scene where he picks up the train without looking down at it.
He just stares forward.
Just looking. Yeah.
Well, you know what they
Yeah,
say.
when we were watching this, I did have them pause it because allegedly I was reading through this. Apparently, there's a scene where the Ghostbusters logo is like visible, very small in one of the shots when he's picking up the train. Because apparently, Ghostbusters came out around the same time as this movie did, like slightly after. So it would
Do it
have been
next time when we
in
rank the
previous.
Ghostbusters. Turns
I
out
was about
there's
to say there's
one
only
good
two
one.
of them. I was about to say there's only two of them, but there's not.
Technically, there's 5 now.
All right.
So Godzilla's making his way through Shinjuku as the scientist and as the professor here is working on his bird radar noise. They test it by, as Godzilla's walking by the building they're in, they point it at Godzilla. The sound makes Godzilla react and sort of look in their direction, and then when they turn the sound off, Godzilla, looks away and goes
Oh
back to
wait,
what
you
he was doing.
forgot.
Usually,
You forgot to introduce the most important character.
no, I'm getting to that. Because in the building, there's a restaurant in the building where these people are working. Let's see if I can find a picture of him. Let's see. Not that. God damn it. Godzilla. Let's see. Biologist. Suit actor fleeing actor Vigrant. There he is. Yeah, so as the city is being evacuated and Godzilla's that's the actor's name, okay. Okay, I guess I can't find a picture of him. Hang on a second, I want to see folk singer and actor role. Okay. I wanted to see if he was like a comedian or something. That seems like something they would have done. Yeah, so basically there's this homeless man in a restaurant that's in the building because the building is evacuated. He's just in there taking as much food as he can, like taking their alcohol. He's living it up in there. And as he's eating, Godzilla just looks in through the window, or like his head is just like outside the window. And this vagrant man is like,
Fucking
Oh, what do you think?
tourists.
What you think you're? Oh, what you think you're? Because you're walking through Shinjuku, you're a big man. You out of towner. You fucking
Fucking
bastard.
fucking tourists.
Fucking dickhead.
Bastard all times.
For some reason, that reminds me of there's that meme of just like locals whose local economy depends like 85% on tourism whenever they see a tourist, and they're like, "Fuck you."
Oh, that is a whole can. There's a whole other can of beans. Yeah. So as Godzilla's making his way through Shinjuku, uh, the military, the government is like, okay, where the hell is the Super X? And they say the Super X has been launched, and then the Super X just sort of shows up. It is not given much fanfare in it launching. It's not giving not given any sort of sequence. It just sort of shows up.
It
Like it
doesn't.
is not given the fanfare that similar vehicles will be given in future movies.
It doesn't
It
even.
is also very jarring.
It doesn't even Akira slide onto the scene.
And it is like I've mentioned this multiple times. It really does give off Eggman vehicle vibes, just round and very hard to kill.
It is made to look like a flying saucer. Basically, it is this saucer-shaped thing. Though, as I was looking at pictures of this and getting all these tabs open in preparation for this beforehand, let's see. Where's that? Pretty sure there's like a better
Like
picture like this
scroll up one
somewhere.
second. I was gonna say scroll
This
to
this
like
is a
the game
picture.
sprite.
This looks like a face.
Ooh.
Like, doesn't this look like the helmet that the bad mom in Gundam Wish from Mercury wears?
Okay, I have not watched Gundam Wish from Mercury yet, but I do
Like
believe you.
volleyball helmet.
Yes. Sorry, I'm adjusting my titties.
Oh,
Yeah. So
okay.
basically,
Hang on. Someone's
this thing
asking me
had
a question. I'll be right back.
Okay, pause the recording.
pause recording.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Hang on. So the
Okay, we're back on.
Project X, Super X.
Like, go
The
into the
Super
video
X.
game. Go into the video game sprite. The blue one.
Give it.
Never mind.
Okay, that's as good as you're getting.
I was gonna say that video game sprite is something that'd be out of an early Sonic game.
Well, maybe not the color palette because then Eggman would also have to be sticking out of it. But yeah, I get what you mean.
Yeah.
Like it's basically meant to be like a flying saucer. The significance of this thing is that it's very heat proof and it has this missile launcher that comes out the top. It has cadmium missiles in it, which the fight between this and Godzilla is very unimpressive because Godzilla's standing there. Sometimes it'll shoot the atomic breath at it, and the Super X will be unaffected. The way Super X fights back is it will launch a flare into the air with a parachute on it. Godzilla will be distracted and open its mouth, and the Super X will fire a cadmium missile directly into Godzilla's mouth. And it does this like 3 times at least. And this results in Godzilla just sort of standing there as as you see its like chest beating because of the animatronic and chest beating as its heart starts slowing down, and then Godzilla just sort of falls over, and let's see, that's one where he just sort of falls over
Sort of flops.
and then passes out like he's dead. Because it's basically slowing his heart down. Like, despite how unimpressive it appears, it does work. This
Yeah.
is this is what I was talking about with Cybot not quite looking right in side shots because it makes his head look very triangular.
Mm-hmm.
let's see. So as Godzilla is knocked out, perhaps down for the count, the Russian nuclear satellite launches a missile that is targeted on Godzilla. So in half an hour, this nuke is going to hit Shinjuku, and basically anybody who's still there has to get as underground as they possibly can, because that's really the best they can do right now. That's all they're going to be able to do. It's like, holy shit.
Unfortunately, for our main characters, they are trapped in a skyscraper and cannot get out.
Yeah, the building these four characters were in, uh, they try to get out through the roof because they're expecting roof extraction once they have the correct information on the migratory bird sounds that they've like condensed and analyzed into something Godzilla will respond to. They get to the top floor, and something about Godzilla's footsteps cause some sort of security feature to go off, which causes a sliding door to like slam down and lock so they can't get out.
Now,
Oh,
I
okay.
don't know what the purpose of this is.
question: what was
I
it?
really don't.
Was it the footsteps that set it off, or was it the fact that
They
God?
said the tremors, so it was like Godzilla
Oh,
hitting the building.
okay, yeah, with his okay.
Uh,
So
like
cadmium. So they launched the cadmium missiles. It does work on
into its
Godzilla.
mouth.
And at first, I was thinking like this is a sci-fi thing they're doing. It is, but it's not without basis in reality because apparently cadmium is known to it's described as a neutron poison. From what I've gathered, it's mostly absorbs stray neutrons, which
Right.
is good at preventing nuclear chain reactions from occurring.
Yeah, they do mention that it's like used in reactors or something like that.
Yeah.
Good. Keep it down. Let's see. Right. Oh yeah, the door. This sliding door comes down, locks. They can't get out of the building. They use a crowbar and it doesn't work. They use a power drill. They use a power drill on the lock, trying to pierce through it, and it like
Breaks
the
and then
drill
goes into the
slips
guy's
and cuts the
arm.
guy's arm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, they can't get out. Uh, then the nuclear missile announcement happens, and the extraction helicopter comes, but they can't get to the roof, so they have to like blow out the window and get some of the people out through the window using a harness in the helicopter. But they're only able to get two of the guy. They're only able to get two of the people out, and also
One of
the
which they brought.
briefcase. Yeah, they also the briefcase containing the equipment that has all the weird bird sonar, whatever information in it, migratory bird noises, concentrated stuff. There is a scene. There is a scene where this guy is holding the case just by the handle. When the case has a strap on it that he should have put on over his shoulder, because the turbulence the helicopter is experiencing makes him like jostle around a whole lot to the point where he has to hold on tight to one of the windows of the skyscraper they are at the top of. So there is a scene where they do a top-down shot of this guy clinging to the window, which is honestly kind of freaky. But also, it's more freaky because you better hold the fuck on to that very important briefcase, motherfucker.
Oh yeah, no.
The eyes. The eyes.
I see it. Oh hey, it's kind of like that one creature from Shark Boy and Lava Girl.
I'm free.
Mr. Electric, send him to the principal's office and have him expelled. What
Yeah, I guess I forgot to bring up the.
For every person who invents
Is
the
that
electric
what that's
light bulb,
from?
Yes!
another
Oh, okay.
invents the
Yeah!
atomic bomb.
That okay, so
Uh,
I guess a little side tangent into Shark Boy and Lava Girl. Okay, so I can't remember his name, but he bullies the main character, and uh,
Principal.
hmm?
The principal. The principal.
I, uh,
Like, I honestly thought that was from a fucking Nickelodeon kids comedy show or whatever.
no. It's from Shark Boy and Lava Girl. It's a scene after this bully takes the main character's dream journal, and when the main character starts shouting, and basically he finally
You
like
took my dream journal.
yeah. He
I didn't
gets
know it.
I sorry. Let me.
I did not hit her. I did not.
The bully like gives the dream journal back, but when I think Max is his name. Max opens the dream journal and sees that the bully has like scribbled all in it and has been like a real shithead to it, and like very loudly proclaims like he ruined my dream journal, and that leads into I did not. Mr. Electric, send him to the principal's office and have him expelled,
And then
and
he throws a book at his head.
yeah, and then Mr. Electric is George Lopez for
His
some
name
reason.
is okay. The fact that his name is Mr. Electric. I thought this was some sort of. I thought it was some sort of Nickelodeon game.
Holy
Yeah.
shit! Holy shit! Holy shit! Wait!
That was just like the name of. That was just like the name of the show or something.
No, no. For a motion picture music, we have to watch Shark Boy and Lava Girl.
And
Holy
then the
shit!
awful sequel, right?
Did they do a sequel? I don't
Or
Oh,
know.
like a
right.
sequel or whatever.
I
Yeah,
don't remember.
it was weird.
Holy shit!
Sure.
Let's get back to this, but we're gonna watch Shark Boy and Lava Girl at a future point.
So the plan with the migratory bird noises concentrated down to this signal, basically. I forgot to bring this up. The plan is they have a semi-active volcano in Japan, or one of them. Their plan is to set up a dish that would transmit the sound to lure Godzilla into this active volcano, and then blow it up and trap him in there. Let's see. So yeah, so they get the helicopter with the necessary information to the volcano, and they get all that hooked up. Something I want to mention here. Let's see if this is the right model of vehicle. Come on. Yeah, this is the one. This is one of the weapons they use against Godzilla to like draw him away from the building where the researchers are, the main characters are. It just sort of shoots a solid red beam. Uh, this this vehicle isn't really used much in the rest of the Heisei era. More often in the Heisei era, they use maser tanks, which we'll likely see later, and we'll see in the next movie probably. They're sort of a main staple of Godzilla movies going forward
Hmm.
once they introduce them. Let's see.
Yeah.
Wait,
So,
who are?
That's
what's up?
Get a second on mine.
yeah. So
Who
let's
are mainstays?
no, what
You cut out a little bit on my end. Who are mainstays introduced?
the maser tanks.
Oh, okay.
They sort of look like this, but they're something else.
Yeah.
Alright. Sorry.
So,
So
the two of the main what
I was just gonna say, in Psychonauts, there is a level where you play basically a giant kaiju, and something like like a maser tank adjacent like thing shows up, and when I played Psychonauts before, it's like I understand that has something to do with Godzilla, but I don't quite understand what exactly, and now being able to see what it's
these
reference to.
things similar to this.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, so with two of the characters evacuated and the information where it needs to go, the other two characters need to get evacuated, which need to get out of the building by basically going all the way down. And who are let's see. There we go. Who are these? God damn it! For some reason, they use the name Goromaki in multiple movies, including Son of Godzilla, the one with that introduces Minya. I don't know why. I don't know why they use this name so many times. Yeah, so basically, these two are still in the building and need to go all the way down. Close to the bottom, the stairwell is blown out, and they have to like tie a fire hose to a railing and climb down. And at the bottom of the fire hose is the vagrant who was stealing the food from the restaurant. And he, like, helps them down and out of the building.
Good for him.
Alright, I guess the missile
And
plot
then he
happened
also
in
like
between them
tries,
getting out.
he also like tries to throw a rock at Godzilla, and then
Oh, what?
Yeah, like
yeah, he tries to throw a rock at Godzilla, and then the main guy is like, "Stop! We need to run."
yeah, we need to fucking go. Like it happens right before the young sister like falls over and they have to help her up.
So okay, so I got the order mixed up because the plot with the Russian missile happens before they get out of the building.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, because
so
that's
what
what
happens?
reactivates Godzilla.
Yeah, so we're getting ahead of ourselves. So what happens is the Russian nuclear missile is going to hit Japan, but the Americans use interceptor missile to blow it up over Japan, which causes this red sky and action. All the things to not have a relevant picture of, whatever. Basically, the sky turns red and it causes this storm over Japan, this momentary storm, and the nuclear fallout of the bomb going off revives Godzilla from where he had fallen over in the building. And then they get out of the building and they're basically running away from Godzilla. The funny thing is, Steg brought this up. They're told to evacuate. They're told to evacuate. But then when Godzilla wakes up, there is just this huge crowd around Godzilla.
Are you guys not familiar with the Godzilla Death Day cult?
Okay, shut up.
What?
Yeah, so here's where Godzilla is fallen over into this building. Here's this whole crowd around here, and then the Super X is just sort of hovering there, monitoring the situation. There's a lot of Godzilla just sort of standing there, and the Super X hovering there. The nuclear explosion does also knock out the Super X temporarily because of the EMP.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Godzilla gets up, basically starts moving towards this green screen crowd as the crowd runs away. And the Super X is out of cadmium missiles, so they have to fight back using regular armaments, but it's not good enough. And the Super X can only take so many blows from Godzilla's atomic breath. It goes down, and then Godzilla just knocks over a fucking skyscraper on top of it.
Yeah.
And it does feel like as Godzilla is moving through the city, it does feel like he's sort of hounding the protagonists almost unnaturally so, because he's always just moving towards them and they're always running away and trying to find a place to hide, until finally the broadcast signal of the weird migratory bird sounds they got reaches where Godzilla is to where he notices it, and he like turns to leave Japan, goes out to sea towards where the volcanic island is.
But first, we have the death of the most prominent character, the Vagrant.
Yeah, it's not his death isn't actually shown, but it does show like a slow motion shot of him running away from Godzilla.
Yeah, like we see that, and then he like falls over, and then he's like, "Ow, that hurt! Ow, ow!" And then he like slumps over.
Yeah, concussion.
Oh,
I think I would assumed it was a concussion. I think I read something in here about the American version adding in a scene of him being stepped on. I don't know how, but it's whatever.
damn, that's my fucking dream.
Yeah, so we're gonna get you to that vet. We're gonna get you fixed. You're not gonna have these thoughts anymore.
You can't do anything.
We're gonna get you a nice good lobotomy.
At first, I
We're gonna
thought
get
you
you
were.
the top surgeon in Kansas.
I will start biting people if you take me anywhere near the doctor to take my balls
Okay,
or
we're gonna
put
take you to the vet.
We're going to the park. You like the park, right?
I absolutely hate the fucking park. I like staying inside.
But it's the park at the mall.
What
You
the
like
fuck
the
is that?
mall.
Shit,
You're
shit,
the
shit.
favorite. The mall's your favorite place.
Yeah, you didn't hear any of that, right?
I did
You
not.
can tell the tab is playing audio.
Yeah, no, I can't. There's no audio.
I don't know why the fuck it does that. Yeah, so Godzilla leaves Japan, goes out to sea, and goes to the island where the dish is set up to lure Godzilla into the volcano. So this part also kind of bothers me because it's like Godzilla is attracted by whatever this migratory bird sound this migratory bird sound is, this migratory whatever magnetic organ whatever sound, and it just lures him to the edge of this volcano. It makes Godzilla seem very animalistic to the point of being stupid because he does just like walk up to the edge of the volcano crumbles and he falls lower in, and then they set off the explosives they had previously set up there to have Godzilla fall into the volcano.
And then Kermit the Frog just falls into the lava.
Not quite. I will say a scene. There's a shot in him falling where you see his shadow project against the inside of the mouth of the volcano, which wouldn't make sense if unless there's like a light source off screen that would cast a shadow, because the only light source in there would be the fire and lava at the bottom of the volcano. And we'll say, as this is happening, there's a lot of like almost sad music, like it is depicting Godzilla as this tragic figure in his as he falls into this volcano, seemingly to his death. And there's a lot of scenes of the characters like looking on in this almost as if this is something tragic happening. And so this is something where I want to switch streams. This is the part I mentioned earlier before we started filming. This is the part where I want to show the video of something, because there's an alternate version. I'm gonna talk more about the American version of this movie, but I do want to show this while it's relevant. All right, so now we pause the video.
Right, give me 1 second. Unpause. Okay, now we're going to.
So
Oh, sorry.
So this is from the Godzilla 1985 movie. I don't know if this was originally recorded and just not used, but then used in the American version, or if they added this into the American version. But this is the scene where Godzilla falls into the volcano, and I want you to see if you can hear the difference. And now go ahead and play it. Okay, pause it. Pause it.
What the fuck?
Yeah, so as I was saying, there's a lot of stuff at the end of like a lot of people this melancholy music and viewing this as if it's a tragic occurrence. This like this, I feel like this was something they added in as like Godzilla screaming in horror at its own demise. It's just so out of place.
Editing in the goofy like when Goofy fucking falls anytime the whoa. No, that I think that was Magic School Bus, but you know what I'm talking about. I feel like that
Yeah.
would have been I I think that would have been more in place than what the fuck we just heard.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure that was used in the American version. I don't know, maybe it wasn't used in all the versions.
All right. So switch
Let's
back.
go back to my stream.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. I will pause the recording real fast just so. Okay. Anyway, as I was saying about that scream, that would be like what's the word? Like in the first Halloween movie, there's a scene where Michael Myers is choking a victim to death as she's trying to like call her friend to let her know what's going on, and that would be like replacing her choking noises with like help me, Michael Myers is Michael Myersing me or something.
What the fuck? Okay. Very specific.
For some reason, that also reminded me of the fact that, like, one of the last, like, Halloween movies, the entire neighborhood beats the living hell out of Michael Myers and he still lives.
Yeah,
I gotta get out of here.
I don't necessarily. So, not to go into a tangent for '80s movies. So, like, I don't necessarily know. Like,
So,
so
we're not talking about 80s movies.
well, not '80s movies, but '80s slashers. Uh, so I guess the reason why you could contribute like Jason's like ability to come back from anything is just
Go.
he's very fucking chonky, and then you get into the weird like resurrection shit later on. But I don't know what. Oh wait, no. Halloween 4 kind of explains why Michael Myers has these all weird supernatural bullshit things going on. Never mind.
Yeah, so that was Godzilla 1985, and now I want to talk about the U.S. version, which was done very similarly to the original in the U.S. in that they spliced in a bunch of footage of Raymond Burr, Steve Martin, his character Steve Martin, a much fatter, older Raymond Burr.
So why don't we
Let's see if
watch
I
the
can find a
definitive
comparison picture.
edition then?
Like this is what he looked like back then.
I think he just got
That's what he
hotter.
looks like now. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's dead. I'm pretty sure he's dead now. But one of the things I remember seeing as I was looking through this is uh, his name he's not referred to by his name of Steve Martin. He's only referred to as Mr. Martin and then credited as Steve Martin, his character's name, probably to avoid associating him with the then now popular comedian Steve Martin.
Whoa.
Yeah, so another thing they did in the U.S. release is Dr. Pepper sponsored the movie. They put in like $1 million, 1 million or 10 million, I don't remember, into sponsoring this movie with the non-negotiable inclusion that they edit Dr. Pepper into the movie. So when they were adding scenes in, you get stuff like this. There's adding scenes in the movie, drinking Dr. Pepper. So if you've ever seen that old Godzilla Dr. Pepper commercial, this is the reason why it happened.
Jeez.
Because it was sponsored by Godzilla. Godzilla sponsored it.
Did we get a scene where Godzilla's fucking up a Dr. Pepper billboard at all?
No, but they did
No, but
change.
that happens in the commercial.
They did change the endings that instead of it being bird sounds that attract
Yep.
Godzilla, it's the Dr. Pepper jingle.
No, it wasn't.
It just
Hmm,
it just draws them in.
hey, Chris, could you
We'll
remind
say
us?
this.
Could you remind us what the Dr. Pepper jingle is right now? Can you sing it for us right now?
It's Dr. Pepper. It's better than Coca-Cola and Pepsi.
Unless you're one of those people that doesn't like Dr. Pepper.
I
Like there's like this a subset of people that think Dr. Pepper is the most disgusting thing ever. I have to imagine it's like the soap uh, the what's cilantro tastes like soap gene.
And then the volcano scene in the American version, it's hot Dr. Pepper, and that's what kills Godzilla. Makes hot Dr. Pepper is nasty.
I think Dr.
Hey,
Pepper.
we don't joke about that. My friend died from that.
I think Dr. Pepper is a pretty good soda, but honestly, I kind of prefer Mr. Pibb more.
Yeah, well, I only like Mr. Pibb when it's on tap, like from one of those soda dispensers at the theater or at the bar. Like
Honestly,
those are the only places I can get Mr. Pibb on tap, and that's when it's the best, when it's fresh.
When it's fresh through the lines of the soda mechanism.
The soda teat,
uh,
the unholy soda cloaca that
Jesus
is
Christ.
those soda mixer machines everybody has now.
Honestly,
Yes.
I think soda machines are the only place where you could get Mr. Pibb anymore because I don't see it. I don't see it in cans anymore.
I see it in bottles,
Well, I mean, it's in
like
cans. I have
2 liters.
a 12 Mr. Pibb downstairs. You
Hmm.
can get cans of Mr. Pibb.
Oh, wait, I know why. I
But
know why Aura never sees Mr. Pibb anymore. Because he's too bougie and only goes to name brand stores and not the fucking weird off-brand stores that we go to because we're poor.
I don't know how to respond to
yeah,
that.
so
Although I've lately been encountering. I've been encountering a lack of Mr. Pibb for a different reason because I'm seeing a rise in Mr. Pepper in my area, and it's like they took away his medical license.
sprayed they I always see Mr. Pepper when I go to protests and the cops see me anywhere near a protest. They just pepper spray me out of habit, out of pants pissing fear that I, a random civilian, might criticize them or take a picture of them.
Holy
Then
shit!
they unload the full clip into your car because an acorn fell.
Holy
Okay, so
fucking
enough about Dr.
shit!
Pepper and police corruption. Uh, the other big change about Godzilla 1985 is so in the original movie, the one of the Russian agents, he turns off the nukes because they says that they agreed not to use them, so they're turning them off. They're turning off the launch system, and then uh, the ship gets wrecked. He does his best to stop it, and dies on the way doing it. On the way doing it, and then the countdown goes off, and the nuke launches automatically. In the U.S. version, they re-edit this scene so that instead of this Russian man dying to try and stop the nuke, they edit it so that with his dying breath, he launches the nuke.
That explains so much, actually.
Because American Cold War propaganda.
There's also the $10 million Dr. Pepper gave to help fund the movie. Here's
I thought
the
I thought you
as I
were
was
going to say
looking through,
something. Sorry.
saying something about
I thought you were going to say the guy dies to launch the nuke, to stop the launch of the nuke. And then no one's reporting it. And so it's Mr. Martin who calls in the American nuke to, like, intercept it or some shit.
now. I mean that that might have happened. So here's the thing, though. Before, when I was getting all these tabs ready and I was reading through this just for some basic information, apparently the controversial change was not political or Cold War related, like propaganda related. Like I thought that's what it was for. It was because it was like, oh, the Americans can't be seen as the bad people. Apparently, the group that was re-editing this film didn't really know how best to put the re-editing they were doing together, so they just did the easy thing. Let's just have the Russians do it. They says, I think he says it here. Like it almost did it like it was a joke. Let's see, rumor. Let's see, saw the movie. That was a complete joke that I did.
Or
Best cutting out a little bit, yeah, but
What?
you were like really staticky for a second, but I could understand what you were saying.
Yeah, the editor basically said, yeah, this was a joke that I did. It was basically an easier way to have the movie there. Basically, just have the Russians do everything.
Jesus
If the Russians caused the problem. And it was apparently not done for political reasons.
Just a funny joke, I guess.
But it comes off across as way worse than it was actually intended, apparently.
Especially when you like think about like in the historic Cold War, like the United States remains the only country to ever use nuclear weapons. But in the Cold War, there's a couple stories of like the war, like the nuclear annihilation very nearly happened, and it was Russia who stopped it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like at the last second, like someone realized something was wrong with the computers, or someone de-escalated it. And so to have the Russians be the one who start this is like,
Hachi machi.
Yeah, so as I was looking at this poster, it was interesting to see all the little movie elements in here, because like here's the very specific crowd shot down here. There's like the fuel station that blows up towards the end. There's the Super X, and there's that, and then there's the Russian space satellite. But something I want to talk about. This is a pretty important part of the Heisei movies is the posters, because this is the textless poster for Godzilla 1985, or the Return of Godzilla.
Whoa.
Every one of the Heisei movies gets one of these posters done by this artist here. These posters for all the Heisei movies are amazing. I'm gonna show them off whenever they come up. But I also just noticed like all the details from the movie, because like you got the buildings from Shinjuku, you've got the red sky and the lightning that revive Godzilla. Also, you've got the birds, the most important part of the movie.
They teach you how to kill John Lennon. Wait, no.
the birds that sing the Dr. Pepper theme song.
No, Chris, one more, just another reminder. How does the Dr. Pepper jingle go?
I'm John Green, and I'm the spokesperson for Dr. Pepper.
Why, John?
If you or a loved one has been diagnosed with mesothelioma from drinking Dr. Pepper, you may be entitled to compensation.
John Green has made several videos about how much he loves Dr. Pepper.
I don't know what's going on with John Green anymore.
He just wrote a book called Everything's Tuberculosis.
Oh.
He wrote The Fault in Our Stars, Looking for Alaska, and Turtles All the Way Down.
Oh, God.
Yeah. He was also apparently priest, like Catholic priest for a while.
That explains a lot, actually.
This is the man that Marjorie Taylor Greene and like moms against books and shit say is like a sex pervert, because he included one sex scene in one of the several books he has written. and that's pornography, and he is like a porn artist and a defile against everything, and all his works need to be banned. And it's like, the man was a fucking priest. What?
I mean that doesn't necessarily exclude him from sex crimes.
I know, but like, okay, yeah, but he's like, the man was a Catholic priest. The man has like helped start like SciShow. He helps with PBS. Like, his wife is the director of like, I want to say it's like Minneapolis Museum of Art. It's his brother runs SciShow. Like, he
Also,
did Crash Course. Yeah, it's like, of all the fucking things, man.
also,
He literally helps fight. And he literally has funded several hospitals, and he's leading the charge on trying to eradicate tuberculosis around the world. Like,
A Fault in Our Stars wasn't super bad. Like, I thought it was a pretty good book.
Not like Superbad,
I didn't know Superbad got a book.
which which was in fact Superbad.
Oh yeah. Also, Hank Green has a
Okay.
comedy special on Dropout called "Pissing Out Cancer."
Okay.
I'm sorry, we were talking about the Green Brothers, so
It's another publicity shot of Cybot.
it's Indianapolis is the Museum of Art that his wife runs.
I do
Anyway,
want to say, as interesting as it is that they used this animatronic for the movie, I honestly have to wonder if it was really worth it.
Hmm.
It's like the lip motions on it were really weird, and they couldn't use the head motion and face motion where it really mattered, like
Mhm.
when Godzilla was interacting with things, because that was when they were using a suit actor
Mm-hmm.
and his head couldn't move. It's like he's picking up that train, like he doesn't, like he's picking up something nasty and gross and just doesn't want to look at it.
And have you ever been on a train? They're kind of gross.
Shut up.
What?
It's just something else I want to talk about.
You
with this movie.
cannot both maintain that, like, oh, I hate driving, I don't want to drive, and also be like, fuck trains.
Okay.
No, you can't.
Okay,
You can't do
okay,
that.
okay. Hang on. No. You don't get to gaslight me like this. Beth, we'll get back to Godzilla in a second. Okay. Chris, just because I think something is gross doesn't mean I'm against it. Have you ever
Totally does. It totally means that.
Okay, Chris. So, are you a big fan of truck stop restrooms? Of fucking
They
fast
fulfill their
food.
purpose in life.
But they're still gross, right?
Not
Like,
all of them.
I have never been to a place that
Buc-ee's has clean restrooms. Every single Buc-ee's I've ever been to, probably because they're a cult. But
why are you so obsessed with Buc-ee's recently? I feel like
because Buc-ee's is growing at an exponential rate, and I'm warning people of this.
I
And the
In several
apocalypse is
years,
happening. The
in
apocalypse is
several
happening.
years, Bucky could grow to consume the entire
And the
planet.
bombs are going to drop at any moment. And then less than 50 years after the bombs drop, there's going to be a fucking cult to the beaver. And then Bucky's is going to be like the Caesar's Legion of the world.
I will s- I will say back at my university, my 4-year university, when we were playing Monster of the Week, Bucky's was a big part of the campaign. Also, that GIF is not from Family Guy or Futurama. That is a
I
drawn
don't.
together GIF.
Oh,
Anyway, back to Godzilla.
there was a tabletop game I remember playing a couple of times at the tabletop store that doesn't exist anymore before the pandemic, where it was basically a zombie survival thing. We got to pick the settings based on cards and stuff. We'd always set up in a mall, so the place we'd always set up in is a sporting goods store because that'd be the most have some of the best defensive measures, what you could say. So there were several sporting goods stores, or you can think of like there's Dick's, there's Gander Mountain, and there's Academy Sporting Goods or something like that. So I got to name the sporting goods store as Dick's Mountain Academy.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So the other thing I wanted to talk about was the scrapped original draft of Return of Godzilla.
Mm-hmm.
There's a significance to this. Let's see, it's Return of Godzilla. That's Dr. Pepper. This is Resurrection of Godzilla, the original 1980 draft for this Godzilla movie. The reason of its significance is because it was originally slated to have another monster in it.
Oh.
A monster called Bagon, who has a long storied history of not showing up in anything.
Damn.
Does Bagon ever
This
actually
was the
show up in
original.
something?
I'm going to explain that. Bagon was like originally supposed to be this shapeshifter monster that they
Oh.
wanted to have in this movie, but it got cut, and the movie ultimately became Return of Godzilla, like what we know. There were several movies that this thing was proposed to be in that did not make it. It was like, Mothra versus Bagon, which once again didn't happen. So this monster shows up in something called Movie Studio Tour, this like computer game. This is what we know to be Bagon. And this thing didn't show up in so many movies, yet they kept trying to make it happen. Let's see.
I mean, the idea of a
Resurrection of Godzilla,
shape-shifting...
Resurrection of Godzilla.
I mean, the idea of a
Mothra versus
shape-shifting
Bagon, Godzilla
monster
3.
is a fun concept, but I can also see why it got cut so many times, because pre-CGI, that would be very hard to do.
Yeah, like there's just all these things here where it didn't show up, but they kept trying to make it happen so often that it showed up in the Super NES Super Godzilla game as like a boss. I don't know if it was a significant boss, but it showed up in Super Godzilla because that game was largely based on the Heisei era stuff. You want to know the funny part?
What?
In 2019, Bagon finally made its first on-screen appearance in this.
What am I looking at?
So this is Gojiban. Gojiban is a web series puppet show with admittedly very well done puppets,
Uh-huh.
where it's basically the three iterations of Baby Godzilla as these puppets.
Mm-hmm.
These three iterations of Baby Godzilla. It's very humorous. It's also very well done. If anywhere you've seen clips floating around of like Gigan's hot mom, that's from Gojiban. Let's see if I can find it.
Gigan's hot mom.
You'll understand when I see shit. I can find it. Gigan lady. Oh, okay. They don't have a page for it for some reason, but I'll find it. We'll search it. Oh, come on. Okay, let's be careful here. Okay,
Oh.
no. Where's the fucking puppet? Where's the fucking puppet though?
Parent! Parent time.
Oh, I shouldn't have trusted that Google search.
You know what? It's on for less a second. It'll be fine.
There it is. Maybe it's Mother Guy. I don't know. Okay, it's his sister. This Gaian's sister with her fucking buzzsaw crush. This is made for children, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah, so in 2019, Bagon made its first televised appearance on Gojiban almost over 40 years after it was originally thought of.
Interesting.
I think it's really funny that that's where that it started with this. They kept trying to make it happen so often. There are also a lot of factors in Bagon that made it to like other monsters, like particularly Destroya in Final of the Haste movies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Kind of curious to watch
That reminds
Gojuban.
me of like
I've heard it's very final done.
that reminds me of like there was memes. You brought up Destroy, and there's memes that like circling around after like the title drop for the last movie, and it's like Kong and Godzilla thinking they're unstoppable, and then it's just the fucking whistle from Puss in Boots, and then the silhouette of Destroya, and they're like
Oh
about
God,
to
oh,
shit themselves in fear because they're like fuck, because
there is
Destroya
actually
Destroya lives up to their name.
Destroy. There is actually a comic. IDW has the rights to the Godzilla comics currently. They've done a lot of stuff. There was like a series of Godzilla one shots focusing on other monsters. The Anguirus comic has basically talks about Anguirus' status as an underdog,
Mm-hmm.
basically
Uh,
pointing out how Anguirus has never won a fight. And this comic has them fight Destroya. So basically, one of the strongest monsters versus the one that's never won a fight. And I've read this comic. Basically, the way Anguirus wins is because somebody like they hit Destroya with a tank of liquid nitrogen, and then Anguirus smashes into it. And that's how he beats Destroya.
And give her a
oh,
smash.
So we've got the chart. Let's see now. This I'm thinking it should go. Should it go here or one grade below? Because it's obviously about the Cold War and Cold War paranoia, but the metaphor doesn't really translate over to the Godzilla parts necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
It's like Godzilla in the original Godzilla. Godzilla is there as the representative of the horrors of nuclear destruction. Like this one is Cold War stuff, but around Godzilla. So it is very certainly war bad.
Yeah, I know what you I know what you mean. Like with the first Godzilla movie, it's like Godzilla is the allegory for the nuke and nuclear war and shit like that. But like it's but in this movie, I understand that it's supposed to be an allegory for the Cold War and everything. But that's kind of like the out that doesn't really particularly hit super hard until like later in the film, it feels like. But I do agree with what you have to say.
Yeah.
I have I have also prepared a second tier list for rating the Heisei Godzilla movies with every because like I said we're going to be doing the Heisei Godzilla movies and then comparing them to the Heisei Gamera movies.
Okay.
So I think this movie is a B at best
Yeah.
because like would you say it's a B or a C?
I
Where we put the original B?
We didn't put the original on this. This is for the Heisei movies.
I say let's start with a B, and then we can move it down later, or like depending on like what we think.
Yeah, because like
Right, because the movie is certainly has its tense points and its good build up. The problem is a lot of the action scenes involve Godzilla standing around and floating UFO thing occasionally shooting at it.
Yeah.
yeah, I think a B is a good start for the movie series as a whole. Has some pretty good scenes. Has some pretty I don't know what the fuck's going on scenes. Uh,
And plus the Godzilla with his lack of head articulation is
yes.
really jarring when you start to
Yep.
notice it. Uh, we'll say later on they get better about that because, like I mentioned, they don't use that big animatronic ever again. So what they do for close-up shots is, they have like a half suit for the bottom, and for the upper half, when they need to have Godzilla like moving his arms around a lot and moving his head around a lot, they basically just have a rig that is his body from the upper half, and they sort of puppet that around.
Mm-hmm.
It is definitely a better effect in my opinion, and I don't think the incredibly large animatronic was necessarily worth the effort, as neat an experiment as it was.
It's like what Chris does to me.
What?
Who said that?
Anyway,
Yeah.
Good night, everybody. It's 3 a.m.
Yeah.
and I
It's
still
The
know.
gray goo is leaking out of Aura's ears.
I
Why does everybody in this server have an A name?
you could call me by my well. I'm not. I won't say
I
my.
don't.
Aura, Aka, Avery.
But yes, tune in next
A.
time. Tune in next time when we watch. What's the next Godzilla movie?
No, the next Godzilla movie is Godzilla versus Biollante.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
I expect there to be body horror.
Oh, there is.
Ooh. Oh no, I don't like.
Middle.
You want it, but you don't like it when you have it.
There's kids. I mean, the design is very much body horror, but we'll get into that next time.
Yeah, no, like I was teasing at first, but then you immediately like leaned into it. It's like, oh no, I don't like that. Well, to be fair, it's '80s body horror, so it won't be super bad.
Some of the '80s body horror is the worst
It's
body
not that
horror.
kind of body horror. I mean, we've watched Tetsuo the Iron Man. This is not that.
I choose to block Tetsuo out of my mind forever and ever. The end. But yes, goodbye everybody. Say goodbye everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Adios.
We're going to kill you. You right now. You listening to this, we're coming for you. We're coming for you.
We are Republicans.